Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Angel Baby Show. I'm Evelyn.
And I'm Elise.
We just had an awesome interview with JP. So inspiring. He's just the kindest person
hmm
ever. If I were in a movie, I would definitely want him directing me. The way he was like, I don't yell at people. I'm like, that's the director I would want. So anyway, we had a great interview with him. So go back if you missed it. Um, but Elise and I are just going to talk about our careers like we usually do. Um, I'm kind of go off into a little bit of like a inspirational changing mindset type of thing, because I think I've been struggling with finding my love to sing rather than just like be a competitive like singer type of mindset. So yeah, I think I'll just kind of start off by saying I was in this group voice class in college literally the other day, and this girl comes in, and it's kind of like all different levels. Some people sang a lot, some people haven't sang at all. And she comes in and she says, I've never sung in front of people. I don't know what I'm doing. I sing in the shower and that's it. And, so we're like, okay, great. So she gets up, she's super nervous, and she starts singing. She has the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life. And I literally started getting emotional because I started thinking, she's not coming in here to compete with anyone. She's not trying to hone in on her craft. Like, she really is just here to learn about singing and to do it for herself. And that's the way I always was with singing. And it just really made me emotional because it kind of makes me think about like the voice and the way I kind of like got thrusted into this like singing as a job and singing competitively for groups and singing for gigs for money and things like that. And that moment just kind of brought me back to why I love singing, and just, it I never used to think of it in like a competitive or um, you know,
hmm
a fluent thing in my life. So
And now it
anyway,
feels
I
a little more like a mental, like I have to do it right.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like a it's a job in ways where it's I'm doing it and I don't want to let people down or let groups down or let anyone down. But I think when you have a job in a creative space, it's really, really easy to forget that it's your passion and to forget that it's what really makes you happy and has gotten you through a lot of things in life. Um, so having those type of moments where even if you're looking at someone else, like, loving to do it just for themselves, um, those moments are really important, I think, as you're in entertainment and in creative spaces. And even, if you missed the interview again, like listening to what JP was saying about his craft and the way that he, does it in such a pure and really inspirational way. So anyway, that was kind of my little story that I wanted to share just because I felt like it put me back on track for appreciating singing in a way that I feel like I haven't been recently. So yeah, I don't know, Elise, if you have anything to say about that.
No, I think that's such a universal struggle with like all kinds of artistic fields, like writing, especially for me. I wrote so much when I was younger just because I wanted to and I wasn't thinking about anything. And now everything I write, I kind of in the back of my mind think, okay, I'm going to use this, or this is going to go here. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to send it to this person. And so it's never as good that way because just to be creative, to be singing, to be performing, like it's supposed to be fun and entertainment. And sometimes making a living off of it or trying to make a living off of it can kind of ruin that magic, I guess. And I think that's why freelance gigs are really nice in a way because you can kind of have that like financial stability of okay, if this doesn't work out, I just want to do it because I love it. But other people say that they work really good under like a time pressure crunch. So I don't know who's to say, but I love that
Yeah,
story, that like anecdote of that girl, because I think that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. And you just have to like clear your mind to kind of remind yourself like why are you here, you know?
Yeah, it definitely just, you know, it gets hard because it's like people have expectations. When you do something like The Voice or anything like that, you know, I remember that a guy in my music class, he was like, "Oh, I'm excited to hear you sing," and I'm like, "No, please don't have any expectations. Like,
Yeah.
I suck."
Well, I think
Even if I don't.
you've definitely had it way more than most people because you came to our school and you were the girl on The Voice. Like it's just, oh, Ava, she was on The Voice. Oh my gosh. Like, and so it's hard. Like you will go somewhere and you'll talk to someone and like that's always brought up, you know?
Yeah,
And there's a
and
lot of like pressure to that. And
yeah.
it can be irritating because there's so much more to you in your career. But and you
Well,
know,
it's
it's
honestly, yeah, I was gonna say it's such like a good thing. Like it's such an honor for people to like know that about me. But I in high school, like I didn't consider myself like a singer. Like I considered myself someone who liked to sing, but
Mhm.
nobody even knew I sung in high school. So I think I'm just really getting used to branding myself as a singer and like being okay with how people interpret my singing. So it's been a long and rocky road, but I'm getting there, I think. So anyway, I wanted to share that story today, about that girl. Little does she know she is being talked about in my podcast today.
No,
But
I love
after the
that.
break, yeah, after the break, we're gonna talk about Elise and successful resumes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about if you're an actor, how to get a good resume. And so we'll be back
Awesome.
from the break.
Hey guys, one thing I wanted to mention to you, make sure you say most of the times you do that what they're listening to when you come in and when you leave.
Right.
That's
Sorry.
something the station manager asked me to make sure we do on all our shows. I guess
Okay.
we're not doing it enough. Just remind people because a lot of people are coming in at different times, so remind them who they're listening to.
Do you want us to
No, no,
redo
no,
the end
no.
right there?
Just next time. I
Okay.
just when you said goodbye, you didn't say what they were listening to, so it just made me think of it because he mentioned
Okay.
Les mentioned it to me last week. Okay,
Okay.
very very cool. Um, so when you're ready.
All right. Hi everybody. Welcome back. You are listening to the Angel Baby Show. I'm here today with my sister Ava, and I'm Elise. And for this last segment, I'm going to break down a little bit about sorry, I hope we edited that out. um, I'm going to break
Wait, you
down.
can start it. Wait, start. You
Yeah,
can start
start
again,
Can I
over.
please.
start over? Sorry, I have like something in my throat.
Get some water.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was like, I sound like a crowed, a roach. Mm. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back. You are listening to the Angel Baby Show, and I am here today with my sister Ava. I'm Elise. We've had a fantastic interview with a filmmaker, director, Juan Pablo, and Ava just kind of shared a really interesting anecdote, kind of about like the struggles of creative and singing because you love it versus singing because of career. And now, kind of back on like the career side of things, I'm going to talk a little bit about resumes. And so, for an actor, anytime you submit, I think most people associate an actor needing headshots, but an actor also really needs a resume. And this is something that I did not realize until I started submitting for roles. And I will just break down some things because it's not your typical LinkedIn resume. It's not your typical job, whatever you're interested in resume, but it is similar in some ways. And besides what it is and what you're supposed to include in it, I'm also going to share how to stand out because the acting world is tough, as we all know. And, there's casting directors probably get about 3,000 submissions per role. And out of these, they're probably going to audition, 30 people? And then one person gets that role. So your chances of like getting in a room, even just to submit yourself, is pretty small. And as an actor, there are just like some primary materials you absolutely need. You need a headshot. It depends on how far ahead are you. If you have an agent and you're like an active actor, you need a reel and a resume. And so today I'm going to kind of go into depth of the acting resume and what it's like, the proper format, the do's and don'ts, and ways to make it more compelling. So I would say number one, I'm the queen of like copying. If someone has a really good resume, I just use the same format online. I think building it yourself can just make it complicated and the spacing's already laid out for you. I got mine from Martin Benson, an actor, marketing consultant. They have a really like straightforward, clean resume page. And it really should be like a quick, easy look at reference to kind of tell the casting directors your experience, special skills. So for an actor's resume, the first part is your personal information. And what's weird about an actor's resume is not only do you put your contact info and your union, but you have to put like your size, like your weight, your height, how much you everything. And so I think as a girl, you're like, I don't want to tell them how much I weigh, like what? But that is something that they want to know. And then you do your credits. And so if you're in theater, you can put it into 2 sections, but usually you say the name of the production. The credits typically from the resumes I've seen, it's like, I can't visually show you, but I will audibly describe it. There's like 3 parallel lines and you've got the role on the left-hand side. And then usually you have like the play in the middle, and then you have like the company or what it was from, whether it was school or not. And usually what I try to do is I try to separate, okay, film and TV, theater, because I think when you're starting out, you'll probably have more theater experience because I'm focusing on film acting right now. And then below the credits, you're going to put your education and training. So credits should only be roles that you have played, where you were playing a character and you have lines. Training can be, let's say, like I trained at the La Jolla Playhouse and I trained at the Old Globe Shakespeare Studio. So those were not roles I was in. They were just trainings I did. But most casting directors understand that in these trainings and these workshops, you were acting in roles, you were writing monologues. So it's kind of like an unspoken rule. And just be careful about like what defines education. Like don't just put your college, put what acting classes you took in college, really try to just make it about acting. Don't make it about anything else. And then at the bottom, and this is probably one of my favorite things, and this is on Actors Access, you can put special skills. And if you go online to one of those Backstage or Actors Access, some of the skills they look for are hilarious. It's like juggling, clown, skating, like literally anything under the sun. So if you play piano, and it doesn't have to be artistic or what you consider artistic, it can be like knitting. I'm really good at, like, I don't know. So because sometimes that's the thing about these roles, it's just so competitive. And if you have that one unique niche thing that you know how to do, you might have a higher chance of getting cast. So go ahead and put it back out there. So that's kind of the structure a little bit. I think that now I'm going to try to talk a little bit about like selling your part and making it like making yourself look different than other ways. In other ways, make it a PDF format. Has to be easy to read. Use black and white. Don't use colors. I find that the more professional, it looks more professional when your resume is like pretty boring. Like that sounds bad, but if you have pink hearts and stuff, like they might brand you a certain way or they might take you a certain way, and you really just want the work to speak for itself. So unless you want a specific brand, I tend to go for like a black and white thing. And so the number one thing that I have really learned with all of this being said is you can get the formatting, you can get the structure right, but with how competitive it is, sometimes you kind of have to get into a mindset, and it doesn't sound very authentic, of not necessarily what I want to show about myself, but what did they want to see? Put your mind in the casting director. Think of what they're looking for. And you can change up your resume. I've done that before where I'm auditioning for something and I change my resume knowing like, okay, this is the clientele I'm going for. So I'm going to like edit this around and really try to think about them and what they want and try to make their lives easier. Think, okay, they're trying to cast this kids person. Let me make it as clear and straightforward as possible for these people. Don't try to like win them over with like your like I guess just try to be as like efficient and professional and clear as you can be, especially in the beginning when they don't know who you are and they don't owe you anything. And then one more note, I could probably talk about this for literally my whole life. There's like so much to it and so many layers, and it's hard to, you kind of have to take it case by case with the resume and know like, okay, this is like, how do you know what the casting director is looking for? How do you set yourself apart? While also staying true to yourself, because at the end of the day, everyone else is already taken. Like you have to be yourself. You can't go try to be someone else, but you can market yourself in a way that makes it more, you're more accessible for casting directors to use. And that's it. There's a very fine line to that, and it's kind of complicated. So I usually just take the path of, okay, I'm just going to be me and do this and see what happens. But another really good tip I learned, and this is a small one, and this doesn't really have anything to do with resumes, but if you're networking, let's say you're trying to talk to your agent, you're trying to talk to an agent, you're trying to network, this can go for anyone. This is not an agent thing in it at all. Honestly, Ava, like if you want to email your professors, something that I've really learned about, because it's such a fast-paced industry and people don't have a lot of time, trying to make things as simple and efficient for your agent or your boss, etc., is essential. And so when you're asking to meet with someone, I live by this. When you're asking to meet with someone or talk to them, instead of saying, oh, when are you available, and making them have to go to their calendar and check their time, I always provide 2 times. I provide, are you available Thursday at 6 p.m. or Tuesday at 2 p.m.? And then, and usually because I give them those 2 little dates, they can kind of look there and then go around from there. And that's probably one of the best like success tips I've had, because I never wanted to be abrasive, and I never wanted to say like, hey, agent, come meet me. Like whenever you're available, you want to be chill and easygoing. But I think it's a weird tactic that does make their life easier, because if I receive an email and they're like, oh, when are you free? It's like, oh, I don't know. Like I'll look at my calendar. It's a lot to think about. But if they say, are you free Thursday at 2? You can kind of go look, and then you're like, okay. Does that make sense? Are you following?
Yeah, no, I totally follow. Sadly, I think we're running out of time.
Oh,
But
sorry.
no. I wish, honestly, I wish this was at the beginning, because this is good stuff. And like you said, I think it applies to a lot of different professional fields. And I think the acting field, like, because it's creative, it's like, do I make my resume with hearts? Like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I think your tips about that are really, really insightful and really helpful. Maybe we'll even extend this to next episode, because I think it's a really, really good topic about like when to
Yeah.
be creative and crazy and show your personality, and maybe when you shouldn't. So I think maybe that's a next episode. Last episode actually got us to #1 again. So thank you with Anna Tolkien. So if you missed that,
Go, Anna.
definitely go and watch that episode. She was great. She's a really great interviewee. But yeah, I sadly I think we're right at the end of the Angel Baby show today. Lots of thank yous. Thank you, Jeremiah Higgins, our executive producer. He corrals us and makes everything happen, and he is a dream maker. And then our sound engineer, Dr. D Richard, we're so grateful for him, always making us sound good and putting the playlist together. But yeah, I think and then thank you to JP.
Yeah.
I'm excited to listen back to that interview. It was a really great interview. Thank you guys for listening today. This is the Angel Baby Show. I'm Ava Lynn.
And I'm Elise.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys are
Sorry,
killing
Elise, I did not mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I go for it. I was like chatting up.
We were
Well,
going.
we went over 4 minutes. It's my fault, but it was such good stuff. So we'll make it fit. We'll make it work. I'll just do shorter music clips. I'll just do shorter music. No, those are great. One of the things that you mentioned about the resume and not drawing all over it, I totally agree with that, as somebody who's read hundreds and hundreds. But have you heard this yet, Elise, that when you've got a screenplay and you submit a screenplay, it's always have a blank cover. Don't get creative with it. Like some
Yeah.
people put pictures on them, and
No, I know. It's like I hate telling people that because I'm so like I love pink but it just kind of makes you look bad. I don't know why.
It says you don't know what you're new to the business to those.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, great show. Another great show in the can. Number 13.
Awesome.
Congratulations on
Yay,
being number 1 again.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, yeah, no, that I saw your text. So I was like, yay. I love the cover for the Tolkien one. That
Me
looks
too.
so
That was
cool.
pretty.
That's one of my favorite covers so far, I think. Looks so
So
cool.
you like simple then.
I
You like them
don't
simple.
know. it just looks cool. It
Well, it's the
looks very
first one I haven't.
professional.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, that's the first one I haven't put the two of you in a picture, so
Maybe that's why I like it.
okay. Well, it's good to know. I like to know that stuff so I can make you happy there. All right, well, have a great weekend and a great day and night and all the rest. And thank you for, I know how busy you are. Thanks for doing this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, no.
We will send a
We
rundown
will,
way sooner.
yeah, we'll be a little bit more productive next week.
That's what we
But I'm excited to hear this episode.
Yeah, it's good. I'll have Richard tighten it up. That'll probably give us a little time as well, maybe a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking that too. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.